Welcome to Astrology channel English. I'm your host Vishal Sathye. Today we'll discuss for the Aquarius Ascendant what happens when Saturn as the Ascendant Lord, it comes in the 6th house in the sign of Cancer. This position is a bit of a karmic position, and many a times actually if you search videos on what happens when the Ascendant Lord is in the 6th house, then especially you will find people telling you on YouTube that if the Ascendant Lord is malefic, then it is very good if it is in the 6th house, because malefics have a fighting tendency. They like to be in malefic houses and they do excellent in malefic houses. Actually, from my experience, I have found out that it is actually not so. After all, being the Ascendant Lord being in a malefic house, even if the Ascendant Lord is malefic, is not that good. If the Ascendant Lord is malefic and is in the 6th house, it shows that there is a kind of a maleficness in the personality of the subject, and he has a tendency to gravitate towards disputes. Probably he likes to be in dispute, but in this case, actually, especially it is not so, because here Saturn is placed in the 6th house in Cancer, and this combination is not very good. Here Cancer and Saturn don't go very well, don't mix very well, and Saturn in Cancer doesn't give good results because both of them are opposite energies. Even if I was continuing this topic, actually, even if say it is Mars which is exalted in the 6th house, even then I will say that at the end of the day, what happens, this person will get success through disputes, etc. But at the end of the day, I have seen subjects with even exalted positions, Ascendant Lord in the 6th house, they feel at the end of the day that why I am always in dispute. It's better to have a peaceful, they realize that it's better to have a peaceful life than to be always in dispute. But here in this placement it is more problematic, because here the position is not that good. What happens here is that, especially I have seen that whenever Saturn is in Cancer, anywhere in the chart, here it is in the 6th house, and the position is a bit more karmic. But even if Saturn is in Cancer in any house, one thing is for sure, that the subject feels that he is being unjustly treated by his mother. That is, probably if there are two siblings, this subject will feel that my mother is giving more love to the other sibling, and she is not doing justice to me. She is not giving that much motherhood as she is giving to the other sibling, and she is not acting fairly with me. This is always the case when Saturn is in Cancer, and especially this placement, Saturn in Cancer, becomes very karmic. I have seen if Saturn is in the early degrees, especially before the 3.2 degree, that is if it is in Punarvasu 4, then this becomes very, very, very karmic placement, because what happens is, in this case, Saturn is also in the same sign in Navamsa. So in such a case, this is a very typical karmic placement. I remember a case probably 20 years back. There was a case in the United States where actually a lady who was probably not able to bear the child, and she wanted to convince her husband that she is pregnant, and she had some kind of mental problem. She was not sane, and what she did is she searched on the YouTube as to how to deliver a baby, and then she searched women who were about to deliver a baby around in her area. And what she did is she told her husband that she is pregnant and she is about to deliver a baby, and she approached a woman who was about to deliver a baby, and she forcefully caught her. She went to her house, she caught her, got hold of her, and she forcefully she aborted her, and in the process that woman died. She took away the child and she kidnapped the child in such a way. It was a horrible incident, and there was a lot of media attention then. 20 years back, I guess this was a horrific criminal case in the US. And when I actually looked at the baby's coordinates, the first thing I could peculiarly see in that it was the child had Saturn in the early degrees of Cancer, that is Punarvasu 4. So obviously then the father remarried again, and there was a stepmother, and probably definitely it would have been the case that the stepmother did not treat her properly. So this placement, especially in Punarvasu 4, is extremely karmic. And in this position, the subject, he is constantly in physical stress and also constantly in mental stress. Sometimes with this placement, I don't want to sound negative, but sometimes the person will experience that I always keep on going towards the sixth house, I gravitate towards the sixth house. It is my tendency to fall in disputes, and the result is in not my favor, and I usually lose, and due to that my security is tarnished. I feel insecure, and especially the person might feel that people are cruel to me when I compete with people, when I go towards disputes, and when the results are not in my favor. Especially this cosmos, this life is cruel to me, and I feel insecure. This kind of a feeling or experience also might be there sometimes. But you have to understand that behind every placement, any planetary placement, there is past karma, which is the cause of that placement. And if you feel that people are being rude to you, people are being very bad towards you, then first of all face that situation. You have the strength to face it. Never quit or never feel self-pity about yourself. Face it boldly and face it in a positive manner, that even if this world is bad to me, I will be good to the world. I will be good to people. I will take care of them. I will be good to them, because what will happen then is that this karmic backlog will get fulfilled very quickly, and the grip of Saturn will then release. This is the secret behind this placement. This is the solution to this placement. So the challenge in this placement is especially that the subject has to face the harsh realities of life, where especially his emotions are being challenged, they are disturbed, and the person has to overcome that fright and that emotional challenges, and he has to use structure and use his discipline and maleficness, and he has to surpass all those emotional challenges. This is what the brief of this placement is. Now, if this placement is there, then especially you have to find the cause behind this placement, that especially what is causing this stress. Typically there must be some cause. Is it some of his personal aspects of life which are causing stress, or is it professional life which is causing it, or are both of them causing it? And especially if moon here is debilitated in Scorpio, then there are this becomes a more karmic placement, and there are more chances that the career aspect is causing more of that stress. Here you also have to pay attention that which ascendant is this? This is the Aquarius ascendant. So these are very fantastic people, very scientific people, and when the ascendant lord of such a scientific person, very practical, scientific, airy, intelligent person is in the 6th house, many a times I have also seen a twist in this position, that sometimes you can see this position in case of certain people who are in sports, who are in modern sports, modern extremely competitive sports, such as say Formula 1 race driving, and who are doing very well in their profession. You can also see this placement in such type of people. Here, this is a very positive manifestation of this placement, which can always be there. So, never consider a placement black or white, negative, or always positive. That is why always you have to consult a professional astrologer, a professional who can actually diagnose the horoscope, the chart very properly. Because what happens in this case is, in case of Formula 1 race drivers, the person is continuously in stress, and he is malefic, he is gravitating himself towards disputes, and he is competing with other people. And you'll say, how is this possible? Because here the ascendant lord is not Mars, it is Saturn, and Saturn is slow, and Formula One driving is very fast. But what happens here is, if you imagine what kind of a life or a profession it would be, then when you are in very high speed, things are happening so fast that things seem to happen in slow motion. This I'm sure you can understand. This is the reason why the ascendant lord, a very scientific Aquarius ascendant, Saturn, though he is in such a fast profession which requires fast, but this profession is repetitive. It requires structure. It requires repetitive, same kind of competitive kind of an action. And here, such players, though the placement is very negative, many a times they are highly successful. You have to look at the whole chart. But this is definitely a karmic placement and a very tricky one also. So sometime in their life, even when they find a lot of success, some kind of an accident can also happen, by which they might land themselves in trouble, because here after all the ascendant lord is in the 6th house, and due to some kind of mishap, their security can be snatched away. For example, they could, I'm just giving an example. They might have an weird accident, unfortunate accident, somewhere doing, say some person is on holiday and he has an accident, and then he gets paralyzed. Something weird, I'm just telling you, it's not necessary with every placement such a thing will happen, but this kind of a mishap is also possible, whereby his security, because what happens in paralysis is the person's security is snatched away. This kind of a misfortune is also possible. So people with this placement should be very careful, even while they are doing certain competitive things, or they are doing some kind of adventure, or they are enjoying a holiday and doing some risky fun. They have to take very care about this. And one more thing, sometimes actually in some cases I have also seen people with this placement, especially if the placement is in Ashlesh Nakshatra, then they could be into healing, especially alternative ways of healing. That is, especially I have seen with this placement, people being healers which are healing people with Reiki, especially, because it is very, if you see, this is very logical, because here there is a combination of Cancer, that is the moon, and Saturn. So what happens in Reiki is, you have to emotionally connect yourself with that person whom you are trying to heal. So the ascendant lord is in the 6th house. He is trying to heal the person by emotionally connecting him to that person, and continuously he has to put in effort, structured effort, by emotionally concentrating on him and continuously, slowly trying to generate that emotional connect and trying to heal. So I have seen people healing other people with this placement. These guys are very good in Reiki. Again, in certain pad of Ashlesh, especially say if it is in the third pad of Ashlesh, they could be surgeons, or they also could be in some kind of typical professions, such as someone who carrying out post-mortem, or he could be into some kind of surgeons or investigators performing medical surgery or something, in order to find evidences for forensic science. These kind of professions can also be seen from this placement. So prima facie, this placement, it seems to be a bit negative, but as I told you, this is a very tricky position, and you should try. If this placement is there, you have to especially see in which nakshatra and pad this placement is, where is the moon situated. Look at the subcharts carefully, look at the aspects, especially the aspect of Jupiter is very important over here, and especially you have to try to understand what is causing this placement, because there is a certain cause behind this placement, and try to find out the cause behind this placement and diagnose the horoscope in that fashion, in that way. So this was my analysis on this placement. Aquarius ascendant Lord Saturn being placed in the 6th house in Cancer. If you like this episode, don't forget to like the button, and don't forget to share this episode. This is very important for me. Until the next episode, this is Vishal Sathye signing off for now.